Welcome to the In-Between.
This is part of our series, Divorce Without the Drama, a different approach to parenting, real conversations about transition, identity, and raising kids with stability.
I think one of the biggest shifts for me was when I stopped seeing divorce as a failure, because for a long time, that's exactly what it felt like.
Same. There's this automatic narrative that if something ends, it means we must have failed.
Exactly. Like you didn't try hard enough, or you chose wrong, or you gave up.
Oh, yeah. And culturally, we don't really have language for anything in between happily ever after or disaster.
Right. There's not a lot of space for it mattered and it changed.
Yeah, it's almost like it's an all or nothing. That's good that it mattered and it changed, because something ending doesn't erase what it was. It doesn't make the years meaningless.
Exactly. Not at all. I had to separate two things for myself, pain and failure.
Oh, yeah.
Just because something is painful doesn't mean it was wrong.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's so true. I totally agree with that. And just because something ends doesn't mean it shouldn't have happened. It's part of your story. I think that was big for me, was huge for me.
Yep, exactly. There's grief in our stories, right? But there can also be clarity.
Yep.
And those two can exist at the same time.
Yeah, they really can. Grief lets things go and makes room for new stuff. I also had to look at the belief I inherited that staying is always strength and leaving is weakness. That was a really big one for me. That belief was deep, family-wise and culturally wise.
Yes. And the opposite belief exists too, that leaving is brave and staying is settling. But neither one is automatically true.
Nope, every situation is different, and both paths, they require courage. They require strength. It's just different kinds.
Yeah, and for me, reframing it as a transition helped, because transitions are part of life. Retirement is a transition.
Oh, yeah.
I retired last year. Empty nesting is a transition.
Oh, we've done that.
Kids are adults. Identity shifts are transitions. Why would relationships be exempt from that reality?
Oh, that's so true. And transitions don't mean you failed the previous season. They just mean the season has changed and a new one is starting. It's exciting.
Yes, having that shift removed a lot of shame for me. When I stopped asking, who messed this up, and started asking, what is this teaching me?
That's a very pivotal change in how you're viewing stuff. Absolutely. Because when you stay in blame or victimhood, you stay stuck. In other words, stuck to stay safe. When you move to reflection, you grow, and growth can be very hard at times. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's worth it.
And growth doesn't require rewriting history. It just requires honesty.
Yep, that's true. We also know it requires responsibility. It requires speaking for yourself. I know that I had to look at my own patterns, not to punish myself, which isn't always easy, but to give myself grace and understand myself that I'm growing and learning all the time.
Same with me. And I think that's the difference between calling something a failure and calling it a transition. Failure is final. Transition is movement.
Oh my gosh, and that's so true. And we're always changing. We're always growing. I know that failure can feel like an identity. Transition feels like growth.
Yep, exactly. And evolution doesn't always look clean.
No, it doesn't. Or comfortable.
Very true.
If anything, the more uncomfortable you are, the better the transition.
Yep, very true. Very true. But the transition can still be respectful. That part matters to me.
Oh my gosh, that matters to me so much as well. Very important. I know that that was a big deal for you and I as we were going through this. I don't want our kids or anyone thinking that growth only happens through conflict. It can also happen through clarity. That's super important.
Yes, it can. And it also happens through steadiness.
Yeah, that's always a good one as well. If someone watching this is carrying shame around change, I'd just really like to say this. An ending doesn't automatically define who you are. It is actually the beginning of the next chapter.
And it doesn't cancel the good that came before it, right?
Oh, for sure. There's always good. Sometimes it just means it's the next season, and that's okay.
Yep, exactly. And seasons changing doesn't mean the last one was a mistake.
Nope, it doesn't mean that at all. We all need these things. It's like building blocks.
Well, thank you for joining us. And that's a wrap on today's episode of The In-Between.
If this conversation resonated, don't just close the tab and move on. Sit with it, reflect on it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, including us.
Make sure you're following the channel so you don't miss what's coming next.
Yes, next Wednesday, we're diving into a powerful conversation when the life you built no longer fits.
What do you do when the structure that once felt right starts to feel tight?
Ooh, when the goals you chased don't excite you anymore. I've been there. When staying feels heavy and leaving feels uncertain.
That's the space we're stepping into next week. Subscribe, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.